When you think about a legendary and iconic wall weapon in zombies, what comes to mind? Maybe the MP40 for points, or the AN94 for late game. Perhaps you even think about a melee weapon like the Bowie knife for the Galvanicles, or if you're real cute, maybe what comes to mind for you is the Bouncing Betties or the Spike Moors. But for me, there's a lot of iconic wall weapons in zombies. These come from placement on the map, where they're at, when you can buy them in the game. If they're not around until the end of the game, maybe they're not that interesting. But sometimes when you only open one door and you can get yourself a machine gun, it makes that gun even more iconic. And today, I want to go through every single map from World at War to Black Ops 3 and talk about my personal most iconic wall weapon locations on each one of these maps. And I just want to give a small disclaimer. This is my list. I tried to not make it too personal, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be too biased with what was on this list. But there is a little bit of my own personal flavor, obviously, as this is my video. So if you don't see your favorite weapon on here, don't get too upset. Anyway, let's get to the list. Now to start, I do want to apologize for the gameplay here on Kino der Toten, and I think the only other one that it's like this on is Shi No Numa. I recorded it on World at War, and World at War was just not wanting to switch to my other display, so I had to record this on my ultra-wide. Anyway, moving on. World at War, the Thompson and the Trenchy were absolute must-haves on this map. I mean, if you were going to be playing on this map, you needed that trench gun for late rounds, and you needed that Thompson for points. So we're really going to decide between these two. I know a lot of people would really want to give a shout out to that the upstairs cabinet with the scoped Kark. Not giving it to that. Not even on the wall, you know what I mean? A cabinet's not on the wall, so let's be real with ourselves. And ultimately, I honestly am going to give this one to the trench gun. I just think that the trench gun was so unbelievably iconic in this map. The Thompson actually shines in other maps a little bit more. And the Thompson in Kino der Toten is 1,500 points, and it was never updated. I think it's kind of cool that they never really updated some of the old stuff from these maps. But I think that point differential from its usual 1,200 and just the trench gun's power is going to give the trench gun the win here. Verruckt. Everybody loves Verruckt, right? The first Zombies DLC we ever got. A map I honestly like a lot. Verruckt is a little bit different because you have the two spawn rooms, so whichever one you spawn on is heavily going to decide what wall weapons you buy, especially early on in this game, so it makes this map very unique. Also, why has Treyarch never went back to this well? Literally the first Zombies DLC we ever got gave us this unique idea of spawning it on both sides, and they never did it again. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Exo Zombies, I think, had an idea like that, but we never went back to this specific well with Treyarch. Imagine how cool like a castle map where everybody spawns in like a different watchtower would be. All 4 players would be so cool. But anyway, because of the different variety of guns on this map, being the American and the German side, it makes it really hard. If you spawn on the American side, the MP40 is a must-have. But if you spawn on the if you spawn in on the American side, no. It's the German side would be the MP40, and then the Thompson would be the American side. Yes, I'm completely tripping. Anyway, if you spawn on the American side, the Thompson's a must grab. You spawn on the German side, the MP40 is a must grab. So I'm going to go the Bouncing Betties for this map. The Bouncing Betties were so fucking cool for this map. I'd love to see Bouncing Betties come back. They're so much better than Claymores. So much better than Trip Mines. Trip Mines are so lame. Please bring Bouncing Betties back, Treyarch. They were so cool. They were not unique to this map, but this is the first map they were ever introduced, and I'm going to give the Bouncing Betties to the World at War's most iconic wall buy. Shi No Numa, a map that I have played a lot trying to get to round 1000 and beyond, obviously on World at War. I love Shi No Numa. This map is absolutely amazing. It'd be really easy to say Betties for this map too, because I have so many iconic memories of making Betty fields on that bridge, but what game of Shi No Numa is not complete without buying that Thompson wall buy? Shit, it's across the box, it's more expensive than the box, and you still buy it over the box every time. It's no question the Thompson is the most iconic wall buy on Shi No Numa. Honestly, just because of personal bias, man, I was really wanting to give Rise's most iconic wall buy to the Type 100, because that's where I honestly spent a large majority of my time at in this game, was with my buddies camping in this Type 100 room. Everybody with 1001 samurais just going crazy. You got someone on the window, someone on the other window, and 2 people watching that main entrance. There's just no question about it. But when you think about Riese, you think about one weapon, one room. One thing comes to mind, and that is the Thompson wall buy. You are 2 doors away from it. It's one of the best guns in the game. I mean, they call it the Thompson room for running high round strategies. You can't get around it. The Thompson is just too iconic. It's going to take 2 back-to-back here, being Shi No Numa and Riese, but you just can't deny it. It can't be denied. Also, its Pack-a-Punch variant being called the Gibbs-O-Matic. How fucking cool is that? That is one of the coolest Pack-a-Punch names still to this day, and it came from the first map that ever introduced Pack-a-Punch. But hey, 1001 Samurais is also a pretty damn badass name as well. MP40. I mean, come on, MP40. You could argue that the Kino der Toten MP40 wall buy is the most, think about the word I'm using here, iconic wall buy ever in zombies. I mean, Kino was a lot of people's first maps. It's a lot of people's, favorite maps. It's a good map. It shouldn't be your favorite, but it should be your favorite nostalgic map, perhaps, but definitely not your number one favorite. But man, Kino's MP40 is a must buy. I mean, if you want points, buy the MP40. If you want to kill those dogs when they come at you on round 5 or 6, buy the MP40. I don't even think anything else really even compares here, personally. Moving on to 5. Now I want to say thank you to GameVids for this video right here. I don't have Black Ops 1 on PC, and Treyarch is not getting another 60 goddamn dollars out of me. So shout out GameVids. The stakeout on 5. I mean, if you had any friends to play 5 with, hell, if you didn't even have friends to play 5 with, you were grabbing the stakeout. Obviously, the MP5K at the top of the top of that bottom room there is pretty iconic as well. But man, if you had friends to play with, you were either hanging out in the elevator with the stakeout, or you were hanging out in that pack-a-punch room with the stakeout, and there's no way around it. Also, the Raid is a pretty badass name for a pack-a-punch shotgun. Ascension is another map, almost sort of similar to Verruckt, where I feel like there's a handful of iconic wall weapons all around this map, and depending on where you were sent to train, really is probably going to determine what is your most personal iconic weapon. If you train in the swamp, like I did myself, that's my own personal favorite wall weapon on this map, you grab that 74U. If you train in that room down by the spawn, or the spawn itself, you're grabbing the MPL. But I will say the room that probably stands out the most, and where the most people trained at on Ascension, will be that big grandiose stage where PhD Flopper is. And because of that, I'm going to say that Ascension's most iconic wall buy, far and wide, not even a question, is the MP5K. Usually you're going to end up buying this anyway. I mean, you're only one door away from it, and it's a fully automatic weapon with an okay amount of ammo. And in Black Ops 1, it has that stamina ability where it makes you run faster. MP5K is pretty badass, honestly. But I do got to give a special shout out to that fucking homie, the Sickle. The Sickle was introduced on this map, and it is still probably, even including the Galvanuckles, the coolest and most badass melee weapon we've ever seen. How has the Sickle not been around since Black Ops 2? Hey guys, post-editing Calico here, just realizing that I said Black Ops 2, meant to say Black Ops 1. Moving on. I do just want to start the Call of the Dead portion of this video just by absolutely praising and making anybody who is not aware that Call of the Dead is currently remastered on Black Ops 3 via the Steam Workshop, and it just looks absolutely unbelievable. This is how the Zombie Chronicles maps really should have looked when Treyarch did them, and the right weapons on the wall, everything being as it is. This is the best version of this map, I have to say. This map's full of really cool and unique wall weapon locations. One of my favorites personally being the stakeout down by that random little building on the side of the lighthouse. This map is full of little hidden spots like that, and I think that it makes for some really cool wall weapon spots. Another one that comes to mind would be the MP40 that everybody usually buys on their playthrough of this game. It's on the power side. It's on the way to Jug. It's a good early powerful weapon, and a good points getter. So the MP40 stands out, but ultimately, how are you going to deny the AK-74U on the side of the lighthouse, where everybody spends their late games on this map, especially on this version of the map where you get Deadwire. We won't talk about this version too much, but the AK-74U wall buy on this map is unbelievably iconic. There's no Call of the Dead game complete without buying it. Moving on. Next up is Shangri-La. Now, this is my personal favorite zombies map. It gets a lot of unnecessary hate. But who cares? I don't give a damn. For anybody who likes to high round this map and run trains in that high round area, the MPL might stand out to you as being the most iconic weapon. I personally find myself buying the MPL pretty often whenever I run Shangri-La, or if not the MPL, the AK-74U in the room after that. Both of those wall buys stand out a lot to me. But Black Ops 1 Shangri-La introduced something that we would never see again in another game of zombies, and since I don't have Black Ops 1, like I said earlier, I did have to outsource this content via Yodi Slayer, the absolute GOAT. This was the only video I'd ever actually watched about Spikemore, so I figured I'd use this one. And yeah, Spikemores, man, they were so cool. Why weren't these in the Chronicles remake? That Call of the Dead remake that I was talking about before, if the person who did that map did this, Spikemores would have been in it, and that's a fact. This is absolutely amazing. Like I've said before, when there's a pretty good weapon that you can buy early on, it can sometimes stick out as the iconic weapon of the map. This one, you have the M16 before the stakeout. I just don't think people like the M16 that much. So the stakeout was the gun that I was always personally buying. You know, the anti-grav Bowie knife, I cannot get this Bowie knife, by the way, in this gameplay. I don't know if it's like bugged on this mod that I was playing. I had a mod loaded that for Black Ops 3 that gave me all the Black Ops 1 weapons on the wall. I don't know if that mod was fucking up this. I don't know what was going on, but I could not get this wall by to save my life at all. But what I'm going to be going with is the AK-74U outside on the wall. Anybody who was running high rounds on this map, the best strategy, in my opinion, on Black Ops 1, at least before we saw AATs, was to obviously get this 74U, trade it in for that or go ahead and get that hacker, and then hack this wall by so you can get pack-a-punched ammo for the cheap, and that was the best way to play Moon, in my opinion. Now, Tranzit is just a ridiculously large map, and for that reason, it kind of makes the wall buys a little difficult. You know, we do have the B-23R on the bus, and I think everybody buys the B-23R at some point in a Tranzit game. You have to. You have the Galvanicles on top of the Diner. The MP5 and the Diner too. Some people may hold off for that because it's the exact same price as the B-23R, and it's just one bus right away. You know what I mean? But I feel like the box, you know, is what a lot of people are gonna hit at the Diner. A lot of people don't buy the MP5, obviously, as I get some monkey bombs right here, and then EMPs. Yeah, I wanted to throw this in here to show why you should not hit the box and why you should just buy the MP5. And then you have the M16, obviously showcased in high round runs of this game, where people will run here in the tunnel. But ultimately, how are you going to take it away from the gun that literally follows you around the map, that legitimately will always be there for you, the most reliable ammunition purchase in the game? The B-23R is Tranzit's best wall buy. Everybody's favorite nightmare, Die Rise. I wish we could have got some Die Rise remastered gameplay for this, but it's not quite out yet, just missed the mark. We're not going to talk too much. It's the Galvanicles here, man. You're hitting the bank, you're getting the Galvanicles, and honestly, right at the bottom of this elevator shaft, you have what I would consider the other most iconic wall weapon in all of Die Rise, that being the AN-94. I mean, this elevator shaft is going to get you set up early game, so just take the elevator shaft. Don't even think otherwise. Galvanicles, everybody's getting them on Die Rise. If you want to get the perks from the jumping jacks, you're going to need a good melee weapon. You know, you're going to have people bitching at you. Why didn't you buy the Galvanicles with your cheap ass? Just get the Galvanicles early on. Considering Mob of the Dead is a map on Alcatraz Island about gangsters, voiced by actors that played gangsters, you need a gun that's going to make you feel like a gangster. And the M1927 is exactly what that is. It's on the wall down by the docks. Come on, man. It may not be the most powerful gun in the game. It may not be, the best for late game. But Christ, everybody's buying the M1927. It has a shitload of ammo, both in the magazine and in the reserve. No Mob of the Dead game is complete without picking this up. It's the LSAT. Come on. It is the LSAT. In what world was it not going to be the LSAT? Anytime you put an LMG for only 2,000 points on the wall in the starting room, it's going to take the cake. It also doesn't help Buried's sake that majority of the wall weapons switch around, so they're not going to be the same for everybody. I know the majority of people will put the AN-94 right where I'm putting this AK-74U here, and that may be a lot of people's most iconic, but for a lot of people, that weapon wasn't even there, so I can't really say it's the most iconic. The LSAT is definitely going to take the cake here on Buried. Man, after playing some Origins for this gameplay here and for this video to kind of research a little bit, I found that I don't buy wall weapons on this map. You can dig up weapons early on for free. You're going to end up wanting to hold on to your Mauser for the majority of the game, whether you need bullets for a staff upgrade or you just want to pack-a-punch it to get the Boomhilda. So I really think I'm going to give it to the MP40. It has 3 different, for some reason, wall buys around this map. I don't really know which one I would give it to being the most iconic. Maybe this one right here, that's only one door away that I just bought there. But you have the same wall buy right here, right next to the excavation. And then you have another one over by the soul chest and generator 4. This is definitely not it. This is an absolute death trap. Do not buy this MP40. Forget that MP40. But the MP40 is going to be it on this map. I'd probably say it's that first one out of spawn. You thought I forgot about Nuketown, didn't you? Well, I did. I did forget about Nuketown, but don't worry. Remember, it popped up in my brain last second, so here we go. This is a map that's really small. You know, this map is unbelievably small, so you're really close to the mystery box always, so I feel like spinning the box is going to be what a majority of people do. But this map has a really cool bunker here in the middle with some cool guns. You know, the 74U, some Semtexes, but if you melee this box right here in the middle, you're going to be rewarded with some Galvanicles, and that's going to be Nuketown's most iconic wall buy. Pick yourself up some damn Galvanicles. I know some people may think about this B-23R here. Hell no. Get yourself some Galvanicles. Moving on to Black Ops 3, and maybe the best zombies map of all time, dare I say. Shadows of Evil introduced the Bootlegger, which was supposed to be kind of like this version's Mob of the Dead, a gun that just makes you feel like a real old-timey, just a gangster, just a badass. The Bootlegger is not going to be the gun that we go with here. It has a weird placement being on the train, so if you got a buddy calling it or moving it around, it can be real annoying. I guess it is nice that you can call it wherever, but Black Ops 3 introducing AATs made wall weapons broken, so I'm actually going to give this to the M8A7. This is the best place to run trains I find here on Shadows of Evil, right in front of the Ruby Rabbit here. So you throw some dead wire on this thing, and it is guaranteed to climb you to high rounds easily. M8A7 on Shadows of Evil. I know this may be a personal one, but fuck it. Seeing as how the Giant is a remake of Der Riese, it'd be really easy to just, say the exact same thing we said for Der Riese, but hey, we gotta be honest with our damn selves. The VMP does not hold a candle to the Thompson at all. Forget the VMP. The gun you're going to want to get off the wall on this map is going to be the the AN-94. The KN-94, forgive me. This is basically the AK-47, basically the AN-94, whatever you want to say, of this game. Black Ops 3 obviously had to have its own. It's an iconic wall weapon. It's right back here. You throw some turned on this, you throw some dead wire on this, and you camp on the catwalk. Ammo's right there. This is going to help you get the high rounds real easy on Black Ops 3 and the best weapon. You may be thinking to yourself, Calico, what the hell do I need a wall weapon for on Der Eisendrache? I'm going for those bows. I'm going to get the Wrath of the Ancients by round 3 or 4, and hey, I'm upgrading it from right there. But you're going to need some wall weapon at some point in time in this game, and what's going to be the one that you should go with? I'm going to give this to a pretty cool Easter egg that was in this map that I really personally enjoyed, being the BRM off the wall, where if you run over these blue tiles that are here on the wall in the pyramid room after turning the gravity off, you will actually unlock a BRM wall by on the other side of the map. I feel like a lot of people probably know this at this point. It's only 2,000 points, similar to the buried LSAT. Listen, anytime you're putting a 2,000 point LMG on the wall, it's going to grab my attention, and I'm probably going to end up picking it up. You guys, I gotta be honest. I have not played that much Zetsubou no Shima. This was a map that just kind of didn't hit my radar when the DLCs for Black Ops 3 were coming out, and I've never been able to get back into it since the hype for it is just completely gone, and I don't even know if there was hype for it or anything, and to be honest. But after watching some videos, after watching some live streams, I was actually watching Insomnia Virus's 255 of this game to kind of help me get an idea of what I should make for this. And ultimately, I'm actually going to give it to this Vesper. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but the Vesper just seems to be the gun that everybody uses on high rounds on this map. And if it can help carry you to high rounds, Deadwire kind of breaks Black Ops 3 in a way. And it's, reliable to get. It's a fast gun to use, and it can get you ammo. Hey, that's going to be Zetsubou Shima's most iconic wall weapon. These last two are honestly going to be pretty quick, only because, it has nothing to do with the map. These are two pretty damn great maps, only because it's so clear and obvious what it is. On Garad Krovi, you have the Fury Song, which is a melee weapon that you can acquire by finishing round 20 in under 32 minutes, and it is just unbelievably cool. It's only 500 points, and it's a one-hit, one-kill until round 35. I mean, it's a sword, has a sick name, one-hit melee until round 35. It's taking the cake. Our final map here, Revelations, kind of an underrated map. This one is going to go to the Path of Sorrows. You have to complete a good amount of the Easter egg to end up unlocking this one. Only 500 points. Again, this one's going to be a one-hit, one-kill until round 42. This one is really cool. I mean, this is the samurai sword that we see Takeo wielding in the Origins cutscene. We've been waiting to wield that thing since Black Ops 2. It took it to the end of Black Ops 3 to be able to do it, but hey, absolutely badass, and you couldn't have asked for a cooler reward for completing Easter egg steps. And with that, that'll finish us out here, man. I appreciate anybody for watching. Going over all these was really fun. There were some that shocked me, some that surprised me. Going into some maps, there were some that I was thinking, 100% it's going to be this, and after playing through it, I realized, no, not a chance. This is going to be the definitive one. After talking to a couple different people through Discord, also just getting an idea, not only relying on my own personal nostalgia, trying to make the best list possible here. If anyone wants to see a part 2 where we go through Black Ops 4 and Cold War, I'd be glad to do that. Anybody who watched this, I appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, thank you. Have a good one. Bye.